What's up, everybody? This is Colin from Holistic Heritage Homestead. I hope you're all well. I want to talk to you folks about a must-have superfood for all you preppers out there. And if you're not a prepper, you should be. And this is one way you folks can get started by stockpiling this in your pantry. Folks, please watch the full video. I'm going to give you a lot of nutritional information. I'm going to talk about things you should consider. And even if you might not like the way this tastes, this food could be life-saving for a family member or family members or yourself, okay? Or a member of your community if you're trying to help other people in an emergency situation, okay? Getting right into it, folks. Cod liver, specifically wild-caught cod liver. Some of you might already be like, no way, Colin. Listen to this, folks. There are lots of great foods that you should be stockpiling, okay? And one of the things I think that I give you folks that a lot of other preppers don't, a lot of other people in the emergency preparedness community as far as content creators, is they don't talk about nutrition as much. They might talk about macros, as in macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. They might touch base on that. And some of them might talk about caloric intake, as in calories, okay? Not many of them talk about minerals, vitamins, beneficial compounds. And I'm here for you, folks. I've got your back. I'm going to talk about things that other people most people rather, don't talk about, okay? Cod liver. If there's one food that I would stockpile, if I had to pick just one and focus on that and getting a large supply of that, this might be it, okay? And I'm saying might just in case there's something else, but I'm leaning towards this is probably the number one thing I would stockpile. And folks, I just want to say my disclaimer is I am not a doctor, okay? I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian, if that's the word, okay? I'm just a guy who studied things. I'm an autodidact, okay? I'm self-educated, and I've learned some of this in school. For like 30 plus years of researching this stuff, studying ad nauseum, okay? I was a personal trainer for a period of time. I was a martial arts instructor for a period of time. I used to create my own proprietary blends of supplements for people, a person or people. So I know a thing or two about a thing or two, but I have to say I'm not an expert, folks, okay? Maybe this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? So, thinking of the macronutrients, protein, high in protein, very, very important. Folks, for the most part, if you have an animal-based protein, an animal fat, and water, you could survive for a very long time, possibly forever. And people around the world do live many years just off of animal proteins, fats, and water, okay? And or milk, if they have milk available, okay? Protein. Protein is king when it comes to macronutrients. Why? You'll die without protein eventually, okay? You won't die without carbohydrates, okay? And fats, depending on the situation, you might die without fats. But your body is made up of proteins, okay? And made up of fats. So you need proteins, especially ones with complete amino acid profiles, like this one being an animal-based protein. And complete amino acid profiles, it doesn't have just that. Animal-based proteins like this are typically high in isoleucine, leucine, and valine. If you've watched my previous videos, which you should watch them if you haven't watched them already, you'll know that those three amino acids are particularly important for muscle building and preventing muscle atrophy. It's important. Having a lot of lean muscle mass on you is scientifically proven to keep you healthier, have you live longer, keep heart disease away, keep diabetes away, and do different things. It also keeps you capable. The last thing you want in a survival situation is to be weak and useless. You want to be strong and capable and ready to get things done, okay? Very important. So the protein, very high in the protein, okay? Also, very high in fat. Do your research. A lot of people have tried to say fat is bad, but that's old, antiquated pseudoscience. all of the science that matters, the real good solid science proves that fats are not only great, they're necessary. Like our cells in our body are surrounded by cholesterol, I believe. Like your body needs fats, okay? Your brain needs fats. Your body needs fats to function. Also, fats are typically high in calories. Calories are energy. They give you energy. In a survival scenario, you might need even more calories than your daily intake. Okay, your daily intake, many of you folks are sedentary, you walk a little bit, you might do certain things. Some of you folks have physical jobs, okay, and or you're physical at home, you might exercise. In a survival scenario, you're probably gonna be busy, okay? Especially if it's something that lasts for weeks, months, or even years. And I do think that's absolutely possible that things could happen where people are forced to survive. They're going to be in survival mode for years. And I think that most likely, I think that will happen, okay? I'm not going to get into that in this video. So you want to make sure you have high caloric intake, okay? Very, very important. If you're going to be gardening, raising livestock, keeping your family and yourself safe, okay? This stuff takes energy, all right? You want energy. So this has cholesterol. Cholesterol can be very good for you, okay? Now, your body needs cholesterol to make certain hormones, like testosterone, for example. You don't want to be having low testosterone ever for a male. And it's especially important to have your testosterone be high during a survival scenario, okay? And women, you also produce testosterone, not just men, okay? Now, saturated fat has a good amount, what might be considered a lot of saturated fat. That's very important, very healthy for you, very good for you, very heart healthy. Zero trans fat, that's great, okay? Zero sugars, that's great for most diets in general, in most situations. And you can get your carbs elsewhere, rice, pasta, beans, whatever. In a survival scenario, okay? Now, getting into stuff that a lot of people overlook, besides overlooking fats. That's one thing a lot of people don't talk about, the importance of fats and also the importance of proteins. Besides that, a lot of people don't talk about minerals. This has a good amount of calcium and iron and potassium, all very, very important, okay? And one of the number one reasons I like this, I think this is one of the top choices, or the top choice for preppers, is it's high in vitamin D. Now, do your research. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it's a hormone. It's responsible for many things in the human body to keep us healthy. It's so, so important. And most people are deficient in vitamin D. Best way to get vitamin D is show as much of your skin as possible. Do not wash your skin. You want your natural oils on your skin. And get out in the sun, preferably in the summertime, between like approximately 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. That's all quick generalizations for you. That's the best way to get vitamin D. Second best way is in your diet, okay, what you ingest. High in vitamin D. Now imagine, what if a major war kicks off, okay? What if civil unrest, civil war? What if your family struggles and you lose your income for months and you have to survive off of whatever you have stockpiled, okay? Whatever the situation, all right? There's so many, I'm not gonna get into all the different scenarios, so many different scenarios that could happen. Anything beyond a few days, when you start getting into weeks, months, and years of prepping, you wanna make sure you're getting all of your vitamins, all of the nutrients your body needs. Not just to live, okay? There's like minimum levels, and then there's optimal. Aim for optimal. You wanna be healthy, you wanna be focused, you wanna be capable, you wanna be strong, you wanna be fast, you wanna be thinking well, okay? And I might've been talking about just a survival scenario, but that's life in general. But those things are even more important in survival scenarios, folks. And if you're stuck inside, think about this. You're stuck inside for weeks or months. So there's a lockdown of some sort, let's say martial law, whatever. You're not gonna get either any any sun exposure, or you're gonna get very limited sun exposure. Horrible for your health. Vitamin D, okay? This is also a great source of omega-3s, which are great when it comes like your omega-3/6 ratios and stuff. Omega-3s are very good for your brain and very good for your heart. And this is a great source of omega-3s, folks. It's also rich in, I believe, in vitamin A, which is also very, very important for overall health and wellness. So, folks, now, as far as the taste, here's the thing. I believe Hippocrates, who is the guy who coined or came up with the Hippocratic Oath, which is the oath that doctors take, that many of them don't really actually live by or practice, is let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. Okay? Now, or perhaps it's the other way. But the point is, your food is medicine. Okay? Now, you have a responsibility to take care of your family. You have a responsibility to take care of yourselves. Now, with this is like medicine in the way that it could heal you. It can help you feel better. And you want to think holistically. You want to think of the whole picture, not just, I have a bunch of pasta, beans, and beef stored. Great, folks, but think about details. So being that it is, you could treat it like medicine. You don't like the taste. If you don't like the taste, pinch your nose, take a spoonful, boom, get it in, be an adult, deal with it. It's going to help you. It could save your life. No exaggeration, okay? Here's a tip for you. I like this with cheap garlic butter croutons. It's great with bread. You can make crostini, garlic butter croutons, which store for a pretty good amount of time, months or maybe a year or years if stored properly, perhaps. And it's a good way to kind of make it more enjoyable. I will say for me personally, the first bite is a little rough. It's fishy. Perhaps that's the word to describe it. And then the following bites, it's easier. I actually enjoy it. Even the first bite sometimes is very enjoyable. My wife and I are blessed with 2 children, 2 sons, and our older son, he's 7 years old, he calls cod liver a treat. Yeah, we're different than a lot of people, folks. We're different. We take care of our children and they eat not just what they want. We've raised them well to eat a variety of different foods, nutritious foods. We limit the amount of garbage they eat. And things that other people might not even enjoy, or like things like this, for example, they enjoy. And like I said, our older son calls it a treat. And he really does sincerely enjoy it, okay? He also enjoys salmon roe, like fish eggs. Our younger son, he's 3, he enjoys salmon roe, okay? He enjoys cod liver. I don't know if he had the salmon roe when he was 2 or if he was 3 when he had that, but he does enjoy it. And, you know, folks, in general, a prepper pantry is a pantry. You should have things in your pantry that you eat on a regular basis so you can work through your preps and you don't have a bunch of expired stuff sitting around that you're never going to want to eat. Buy some, eat it. You'll probably feel great as far as how you feel as far as your health, your well-being, how you just feel in general, okay? And practice. Get your family members, sit around a can of cod liver and go for it. All of you have a little bit, because in a survival scenario, you might be forced to eat a lot of things you don't like. That could be insects, that could be organ meats, that could be whatever. You shouldn't waste. You could live. In certain situations, it's life or death. You could live or die. Okay? And sometimes, in order to live, you have to eat things that might not be enjoyable, or you might even just totally dislike. I think part of being a mature adult is just doing the things you know you should do, even if you don't want to. All right? I hope you folks found this video useful. Now, this is different than a lot of prepping videos out there. It's maybe not cool and fun. It's not tactical, like tactical, but cool. It's not tactical, okay? But it's valuable. You might have learned something. This is the type of stuff that could save lives. A lot of survival scenarios come down to having water and food and shelter, okay? Really. So if you folks enjoyed this video, comment below. Do you have cod liver? Let me know. Have you ever had cod liver? Let me know. If you've never had it, and because of this video, you're going to stockpile cod liver, let me know in the comments below. We want to help lots of people around the world, folks. So help us out, okay? Be well, stay prepped, keep on prepping. Take care, everybody.